Hello, and welcome to a new way of looking at the world with A Course in Miracles online learning modules. My name is Reverend Laura Nedkov, and I'm happy to be facilitating these sessions. My goal in making these modules is to help you not only gain a basic understanding of A Course in Miracles, but also how to apply the Course principles in your everyday life. I've been a teacher and student of the course for more than 9 years, and I'm honored to share what I've learned along the way. I've studied with many great teachers and follow the uncompromising teachings of Gary Renard and Ken Wapnick. I believe our lessons in life arrive when we are ready to face our ego and practice the kind of forgiveness as taught in the course. However, sometimes we need a little help along the way. These modules are here to assist you in not only understanding what you are reading, but also for practicing the daily lessons. With that, let's begin Module 1. The modules will be covering the main topics and principles of the course that will help you either before you begin your 1 year study, or perhaps if you are already a student of the course, assist you further to get an even more clear understanding of the ideas and lessons presented. Go at your own pace. After you have completed all the modules, you will have a better understanding of how the course can help you reach the peace and joy that is within you and your purpose in the world. Most importantly, it will give you direction on how to practice true forgiveness on a daily basis. All this is leading you to understanding that while we live in a world of duality, our truth is oneness. The goal of the course is to help you on the path toward non duality, leading you back to remembering that you are one with God. This course is not just an intellectual endeavor, and racing through the text is not advised. It is a process of slowly turning your mind to think with only the truth, or in other words, with spirit. Your commitment to finding truth and to connecting with God is hopefully the reason you are attracted to begin this study. While it is a self study course, often the concepts can confuse new and even returning students. The lessons take dedication, but you'll start to see and feel the difference in your life when you start to practice the kind of forgiveness this course offers. I am an uncompromising teacher, and while I am still learning my life lessons to get to truth, I hope to give you the tools and understandings of the concepts. In this module, we will cover how to study the course, how the course came to be, our belief systems, and an overview of what you will be learning in the modules. How the course came to be. I will give just a brief history of how the course came into existence, as it's important to know where it came from. However, if you're looking for more information about its history, there's lots of information online that you can research to learn more. Helen Schuckman, the scribe of the course, or the writer of the course, and William Thetford were professors at Columbia University. It was after a difficult relationship and many arguments that the two of them decided there must be a different way. It was at this time that Helen started to hear an inner voice dictating messages. It would take 7 years between 1965 and 1972 to complete the scribing of the course, along with help from William Thetford. The voice was revealed to be that of Jesus, or Yeshua, or J, as referred to in Gary Renard's books. And while it has a lot of Christian terminology, don't let that put you off. Helen Schuckman was a most unlikely channel. She was a respected research psychologist, a pragmatic materialist, and a committed atheist before receiving the revelations. Among her prestigious appointments, she had been associate professor at Columbia University's College of Physicians and Surgeons, an associate research scientist and chief psychologist at the Neurological Institute of the Presbyterian Hospital. Her Jewish background and commitment to atheism made her very uncomfortable with the Christian tone of the messages. Her co-scribe on the project was Dr. William Thetford, an agnostic teacher and research assistant to the famed psychologist Dr. Carl Rogers. What they created was a spiritual document that related closely to the non dualistic teachings of the Vedanta of the Hindu religion. Mr. Thetford realized the basic spiritual teachings of both had many striking similarities to each other, and that the main difference between them was that the Course was stating the philosophy of eternal truths in Christian terminology with a psychological application that seemed expressly aimed at a contemporary audience. A Course in Miracles is very humble. It does not say it is the one and only way or the truth, the one truth. It even bluntly states that there are thousands of other forms that can take you to truth. Additionally, A Course in Miracles does not state that if you don't do this course, you're doomed. First, it honors all other paths that share the same content and lead to the same outcome as A Course in Miracles does. Its central theme is always God's Son is guiltless, and in his innocence is his salvation. So even if you don't follow any of the thousands of forms of the universal course, you're still innocent and safe. All that is very different from Christianity. Christianity and many, if not all other religions, claim to be the only way, and if you deviate from it, you're a sinner and you're going to hell. After it was initially transcribed, Ken Wapnick helped to edit the final edition. It's important to note that the version of your screen is the only version that was approved by Helen, and the reason it is the version I use. There are a few versions available, each with their own history. For the purposes of this course and page numbering, please refer to this version. The whole purpose of this course is to find your own inner teacher and is a self-study one-year program. The book includes a workbook, text, and manual for teachers. As stated in the course, there are many paths to God and peace, and this is just one. That emphasizes practical application rather than just theory. The text and workbook introduce the concepts for a new thought system, but without practical application, your thought reversal will not happen and you prolong your journey home. I include Gary Renard in this group as I can't emphasize enough how helpful it was for me to read Disappearance of the Universe, and along with all his other books, before starting the course. Gary Renard reaches readers where they're at, making it easier to follow and understand. Some important points before you even start the course. You're asked to do the workbook, and even though some lessons may be hard to believe, still continue and don't judge. You may be tempted to start from the beginning if you are not getting it. However, stick with the one lesson per day rule. You can stay on a lesson longer than one day if you find it helpful, but keep going. You don't need to do a lesson perfectly because you will have the opportunity to revisit lessons in future lessons. Remember, the course is a beginning, not an end. The purpose of the course is to start to train your mind to think with Holy Spirit, or if you prefer, substitute the word love. It is not to define love, but to bring love to your awareness and to remove all the blocks that you have made to love. If you have a religious background, try to let go of some of the interpretations that you have been given. The course is written with Western terms that appear to be from Christian terminology, but they have their own unique interpretations. Don't forget to start reading the text from page 1, as the lessons are not enough. It can be slow going at first and is intended that way so that you take your time. It is written in Shakespearean verse to remain clear and understandable for future generations, as our English tends to change with the times. Once again, if you haven't started reading Gary's book, trust me, you will be so much further ahead before attempting to read this course. You are asked not to just read the text, but also to do the lessons and practice them. The entire course can be summarized in 3 sentences right at the beginning. Once you finish these modules, you will come to understand these 3 short sentences that you have the power to transform your belief systems. In order for that to happen, you will need to open up to a new way of looking at the world, a new thought system that will bring you the peace that you're looking for. Nothing real can be threatened. Nothing unreal exists. Herein lies the peace of God. What that means is that the real you exists in complete peace with God. Anything that can die, decay, rot, or is not permanent is not real. In later modules, you'll be shown how we have created this world and everything in it and why. To experience oneness with God can be terrifying to people because it requires letting go of your own individuality that comes from body identification and understanding that your true self is really spirit. It also requires letting go of your belief in the world as being real. If God is love, how could love create war, sickness, or destruction of any kind? Nothing real can be threatened or destroyed. Nothing unreal exists. That's why you are asked to do the lessons even if you don't believe them yet. It's a process to let go of your ego thoughts in order to connect with God. You are slowly unwinding your own individual ego and identity and becoming one with God. That is the truth of who you are. Think of the course as reaching you from 2 levels. Some of the readings can be taken at face value, while other passages are metaphors to help you gain a deeper insight. We can talk a little bit more about these levels. Level 1, or truth, can be considered the course's metaphysical foundation. Metaphysical meaning that which is transcending the physical. This level emphasizes the difference between God and heaven, your true reality, and the collective illusionary world of the ego in level 2. Level 2 emphasizes the course's practical level and how to be or act in the world. We're still here. We've got to figure out a way to be here. It deals only with the illusionary dream. Here is the ego's thought system of sin, guilt, and fear played out in the world. Here is where we apply the Holy Spirit's correction of forgiveness to help us get to level 1 thinking. Once we get to level 1 thinking on a consistent basis, nothing can affect our peace while we still handle our everyday jobs, relationships, and tasks. Level 1 and 2 represent how we are functioning in this world with a split mind. The truth of who we are, which is really at home in level 1, is hidden but not lost. It is covered up by ego thoughts, which are believing that truth is in the world somewhere out there. The truth is in your mind, ready to be found and expressed when you are ready to listen. It's not somewhere out there in the world. Right now, your mind is split. One part listens to the ego and acts out in a world of duality, where a belief in scarcity exists. This part of your mind believes that if I have something, then someone loses. There are limited resources, and it's a dog eat dog world. It acts out of fear and anger and lack or scarcity. The other part of your mind knows that only love exists. There's nothing else. There is no opposite to what is all encompassing. God is love, and as his extension, so are you. That is all we are. This is duality. The Course is giving you direction on how to think only with love, how to escape the world of anger and hatred, and return to oneness or non duality with God. Duality, or the belief in good and bad, right and wrong, exists only in level 2 thinking. We ended up in the illusionary world by believing for an instant that we could separate from God. We created bodies as a way of separating and becoming special, thinking we could usurp the power of God and make our own world. This is a world of guilt. Our guilt stems from the belief that God will punish us as we have sinned for leaving him. This belief in sin and guilt is what holds us here. This overwhelming feeling of guilt is so strong, it has to go somewhere, and that's where projection enters. Guilt is the basis for every projection we make onto others and this world, and is based on guilt and fear. We blame others for our misfortune or blame the world for our lacks. We will be learning how to heal that guilt, how to connect back to God through true forgiveness, and how to perceive the world differently through the eyes of only love. You are not left alone in the world struggling to understand God. You have been given a teacher, the Holy Spirit or Jesus, who guides you through the right side of your mind and will help you in the world, but is not of this world. You believe you are here and still an ego because there are still lessons or forgiveness opportunities that will assist you on your journey home to permanent peace and love. When you're ready to be with God and stay there in your mind, it means that you have removed all the guilt within you. Let's look at some belief systems that you carry that are blocking your access to love. Right now, please take a moment to complete the Belief Systems questionnaire found on the homepage of your modules. Once you have completed, please continue to the next slide. This questionnaire is to help you learn more about your conscious and unconscious belief systems. In order to study the course, you will be asked to question some of your beliefs to understand if they are helpful on your spiritual journey or holding you back. Any belief systems that are rooted in guilt, fear, and just because it's always been that way, and never examined as to why, are based on ego thoughts. Some may be harder to give up, especially those around family, or as the Course calls them, special relationships. Through understanding that only love is real, you will learn that beliefs can be changed to only love when you ask to be guided by a teacher that knows your whole picture, your past, present, and future. By asking to join with Jesus or Holy Spirit, if you prefer, you are shifting any belief that is rooted from fear to love. You will know when the shift occurs because you are more peaceful and happy and calm, no matter who or what is happening in your life. You will be given the steps in these modules to help you shift your focus to only love. In summary, here's an overview of the purpose of the course and what you'll be learning. The goal of A Course in Miracles is to help you remove the blocks or the obstacles to love so that you can reconnect with the mind of God and remember who you truly are. It's a journey that has already been set up by Holy Spirit, who acts as the mediator between the you who thinks you're in this world and your true self that is at home with God. You are not alone on this journey. We will be learning the language of the Course and how it differs from any New Age or religious teachings. We will discover the keys to happiness through the act of true forgiveness and how to be in this world. Please complete the quiz before moving on to Module 2.